Oh man, have you heard about the tragedy? I mean, there's all kinds of storms that come that destroy homes. I heard just the other day about this hurricane hitting this particular city, and I heard there's at least 18 people that have died already that they know about. It's terrible. It's a tragedy. And you know, Jesus talked about a tragedy one time. He talked about two different guys that built their houses. One of them, he built it on the wrong foundation and it fell. And the other one built his house on a strong foundation, and when the storms came and hit it, it stood. Kind of reminds you of the story of the three pigs, doesn't it? You know, building with wood, hay, and the other one though built with bricks. And when the wolf came, you know, he blew against the wooden house and the straw house, and it blew away. So they ran to the pig's house that had the brick house, and his was sturdy and he couldn't blow it down. It's really, I don't know if they meant that to be like a parable for kids who kind of talk about Jesus or not, but it sounds like it. But you know, really, when you think about it, foundations are so important. I know when we built our first church building here, the soil here was so bad, they said you need a post-tension slab. And so they took all this steel and they ran cables of steel and squared off going in different directions, and they pulled it taut. And then they poured the concrete on it, and the idea was when the ground shifted that whole building would shift with it and it wouldn't break up. Even in the building that we're standing in right now, there's $50,000 worth of concrete in the ground. It's piered into the ground, and you know, you spend $50,000 and you don't see anything. You look out there and say, there's nothing here. We spent $50,000 and there's nothing on top of the ground. But however, the most important part of that building is what's in the ground, because it's the foundation that makes the whole building be able to stand up. And you, sir, you, ma'am, me, all of us, if we don't build on the right foundation, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. And Jesus talked about it. He said there's a guy that built his house on sand, and when he built his house on that, when a flood came, it just washed it right away. But then there was another one that built his house on rock. It was so firm and it was so strong, it could not be shaken. Listen, if you'll put your life on the Word of God, build your life on the Word of God, no matter what's shifting. You know, society changes. There's people, I had someone say to me the other day, well, aren't things just different in our culture today? Well, yeah, it's different, but it doesn't change the Word of God. You have to stick with the Word. It's a strong foundation that'll never shift. It'll keep your house strong. See you tomorrow.